Okay, let's talk about Microsoft security tools. It's a huge portfolio, and if we're being honest, it can get pretty confusing, right? So today, we're just going to cut through all that noise. The goal is to give you a clear map of how their entire strategy for identity, for threat protection, and for compliance all fits together. Let's dive in. For decades, security was a lot simpler. We basically built a castle wall around our corporate network. But in today's world, with remote work, cloud apps, and everyone using their own devices, that wall has completely crumbled. There's just no inside the network that's safe anymore. So this leads to the biggest question for pretty much every organization out there. If that old perimeter is gone, what are you supposed to defend? And how do you defend it? This is the exact problem that Microsoft's security platform is designed to solve. To get to that answer, we're going to walk through 6 key parts. First, we'll define what this new perimeter actually is. Then we'll explore the 3 huge pillars of Microsoft's strategy. After that, we'll see how it all clicks together as one unified platform. And finally, we'll take a look at what this all means for the future of security. So if the network isn't the perimeter anymore, what is? Well, the new perimeter is always moving. It's built around 3 core things: the identity of your user, the health and security of their device, and the data they're trying to get to. And it doesn't matter where in the world they are. And here is the absolutely crucial shift in how you have to think about this. If you can't control the network, you have to control who gets access. This makes identity, proving who someone is and what they're allowed to touch, the new control plane for all of security. Everything. It all starts right here. This brings us perfectly to our first pillar, securing that identity. This is the world of the Microsoft Entra product family, and its job is to act as the new digital gatekeeper for your entire organization. Now, at the very heart of this family is Microsoft Entra ID. The easiest way to think about it is as the digital bouncer for your company. It's a cloud service that stands at the front door of every single application, checking IDs and deciding who gets in, and it doesn't care if that app is in the cloud or running in your own data center. So how does Entra make these decisions so smartly? Well, it uses this incredibly powerful feature called Conditional Access. And it works just like a simple if-then rule. If the system sees a potential risk, like say a sign-in from a totally new country or from a device that isn't secure, then it can enforce a rule, like blocking access completely, or maybe just asking for multi-factor authentication. It's security that actually adapts on the fly. But look, strong gates are not enough. You also need active patrols, right? And that brings us to our second pillar, protecting against threats. This is where Microsoft Defender enters the picture. It's a whole suite of tools designed to prevent, find, and respond to cyber attacks. Now, Defender is built on this really powerful idea called XDR, which stands for Extended Detection and Response. Think of it like a detective investigating a crime scene. Instead of just looking at one piece of evidence, like a footprint, XDR connects the dots from all over the place, from your laptops, from your email, from your cloud apps, to show you the entire story of an attack. And this is where the whole team of specialists concept comes in. You've got Defender for endpoint, protecting all your devices, Defender for Office 365, watching over email, and others for identity and cloud apps. Each one is a total expert in its own area. But, and this is the critical part, they don't work alone. They are constantly talking to each other and sharing intelligence. Okay, so our first 2 pillars secure who can get in and defend against attacks. But what are we ultimately trying to protect? The data, the crown jewels themselves. And that brings us to our third and final pillar, data governance. This is the world of Microsoft Purview. Purview's job is to help you answer those absolutely critical questions. Like, what kind of sensitive data do we even have? Where is it all stored? Who can access it? And is it being handled the right way according to our policies and regulations like GDPR? It basically gives you the visibility and the control over your entire universe of data. A perfect example of this in action is managing the lifecycle of your data. With Purview, you can set really broad retention policies like keep everything in the finance SharePoint site for 7 years. Easy enough. But you can also get super specific and apply a retention label to a single document. That label then travels with the file wherever it goes, making sure that critical contract is kept for exactly as long as it needs to be, and then it's securely deleted. That's how you reduce risk. So let's recap. We have our 3 pillars: Entra for identity, Defender for threat protection, and Purview for data governance. But here it is. This is the most important part of this entire explainer. These are not 3 separate things. They are deeply, deeply integrated into a single unified platform. The real magic, the true strength,
is how they all work together. Just imagine this. Entra detects a really risky sign-in. It instantly tells Defender to quarantine that user's device. At the exact same time, it sends an alert to Purview, which automatically blocks that same user from downloading any sensitive files. See? It's a seamless, automated chain of defense.
And your security team, they see all of this happening from one single place, the Microsoft Defender portal. This isn't just another dashboard. It's a unified command center. So instead of jumping between 10 different tools, your team gets one correlated view of an entire attack, from that very first phishing email all the way to an attempt to steal data.
And then, layered on top of all of this is AI. Security Copilot is basically an AI assistant for your security team. It can summarize a really complex attack in plain English in just seconds, suggest the best next steps, or even help you hunt for threats you didn't know were there. For a security team that's already stretched thin, this is a massive force multiplier. So what does this all mean for the future? Well, it means we're moving away from buying a patchwork of different security tools and instead moving toward adopting a single, integrated, and intelligent platform. The key thing to take away from all this is that these three critical areas, identity, threats, and data, they just can't be treated as separate silos anymore. For security to actually be effective, they have to function as one single interconnected system, where an alert in one area instantly informs and strengthens all the others. And that really leaves us with one final thought. Attackers are already using AI to launch faster, more sophisticated attacks. In that kind of environment, can any organization really afford to defend itself with a bunch of separate manual tools? Or has an integrated AI-powered platform become the new baseline, not for best-in-class security, but for basic cybersecurity survival?